Hello, everyone. Thank you for dropping in for some personnel time with Kim K. I am Kim K. And thank you all for joining us this afternoon. Hold on, this evening, let me put on. So, my optometrist said that because I stare at the screen all day, and I'm on the computer most of the day reading reports and, things like that, watching video from investigations, my eyesight is just getting worse and worse and worse. And so he said that I needed to buy some glasses that have the blue screen blocker, whatever it does. So anyway, these are one of my pair of glasses that I bought from a company called Blue Glam. They have some really cute frames, really reasonably priced. So check them out. Shout out to Tasha K for dropping that promo code. Got a little discount on these. So anyway, my name is Kim K again. I'm an HR professional. I've been in the field for about 15 years, and I specialize in the employee relations area of human resources. And in employee relations, we deal with employee misconduct, investigations, employee disciplinary action, personnel management, performance management, and grievances, and all the fun stuff of HR. I tell people all the time, I'm on the exit side. So when you come and see me, it's not a good day, right? And so either there's a problem with you or you have a problem with someone else. And so in employee relations, we try and solve those problems. And so today, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel Personnel Time with Kim K. We discuss employee matters because employees matter. And so I like to talk to small businesses, mid-sized businesses, and just give you all some insight. I know a lot of times small and mid-sized businesses may not have a full-time human resources department or any human resources representative. So I thought it'd be a good idea to start this channel just to give you all some updates on legal issues happening in employment law. This is not legal advice. I am not an attorney, but because I work in the employee relations area and I deal with employee discipline, investigations, misconduct, I deal a lot with our attorneys, our internal and external counsel. So we talk a lot. We have to stay abreast of employment laws and things like that, so we can update our company policies and make sure they're aligned to, what the laws are. So I started this channel to help small and mid-sized businesses, and that's what I'm doing. So make sure if you're a small business or mid-sized business, or even if you're just an employee and you want to know how to get around the red tape when dealing with your employer, definitely subscribe to this channel. I'll put these glasses back on because my doctor said I need to wear them when I'm staring at the screen. They look funny to me. Make sure my hair is okay. Shrinkage is real, guys. But hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you like the content, please drop a comment below. You can come in the chat and chat with me while we're talking through our segment today. And as you can see in the title, we're talking about Michael Irvin, legendary football Dallas Cowboys player. Michael Irvin, Hall of Famer. He's legendary. And so I know you all have heard of or been hearing about this case. It started back during Superbowl weekend, Michael Irvin. And y'all, this case with between him and the Marriott Hotel is really getting heated up. I felt like this would be a good case to discuss from an HR perspective because it does feature a high profile employee, because he is an employee of the NFL Network and ESPN, formerly an employee of the Dallas Cowboys. And Marriott Hotel is a large employer. And so I thought this case was interesting to discuss from an HR perspective because it has a lot of elements that we deal with in employee relations, from sexual harassment to loss of wages due to an allegation, the failure to provide due process to an employee. And then now we have this lawsuit that could potentially cost the Marriott Hotel and possibly the NFL and ESPN millions of dollars, all because of an allegation that we're coming to find out as the case unfolds may not be true. So that's why I wanted to talk about this today. It's happening in pop culture, but there are some HR elements that we can definitely discuss with this case. You all, please ignore my background. I'm still working on my accent wall here. So we're almost done. Had to cut up some tile and to finish out the background, and then we'll move some stuff around. So bear with me trying to get my little setup together. But let's get into it, you guys. So, what happened during the Super Bowl weekend? Michael Irvin was staying at the Renaissance Phoenix Hotel, and this hotel is under the Marriott Hotel brand. And the NFL, they apparently have a partnership agreement with the Marriott Hotel. And of course, since Michael Irvin works for the NFL football network, he, was staying at the Marriott Hotel for the Super Bowl weekend in Arizona. And he also makes guest appearances pretty regularly during the football season on ESPN and some other shows. So everybody knows who Michael Irvin is. If you're a football fan, you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, you definitely know who Michael Irvin is. So what happened Super Bowl weekend was interesting. While he was staying at the Renaissance Phoenix downtown hotel, which again is a part of or under the brand of the Marriott Hotel. He had an interaction with a female employee of the Marriott or, the Renaissance Hotel. And according to several witnesses and even Mr. Irvin, the interaction was very short. There's at least three witnesses that say the interaction was probably less than a minute. A couple guys even said it was less than 30 seconds. They had a few words. He shook her hand and went on to his room, and the lady went on about her business like nothing was wrong. Well, later on, the female employee alleged harassment and inappropriate conduct by Michael Irvin towards her. And she made the allegation. Hotel management, they contacted the NFL to report the allegation, and they removed Mr. Irvin from the hotel. But that's not all, guys. It gets worse. The NFL and ESPN pulled Irvin from all broadcasting duties for the remainder of the Super Bowl weekend. Now, you all know that is the biggest weekend in football, and to be asked and hired to host an NFL Super Bowl is big. Like, that's big time. You got to have some real kind of star power, know what you're doing as a broadcaster and have that credibility to be asked to broadcast during the Super Bowl. And Michael Irvin was scheduled to do that. But because of this allegation, you all, he was pulled from all broadcasting duties, which, had a ripple effect. He had some other appearances that he was scheduled to participate in, and he was not allowed to do those things. And, Irvin, because of this allegation, lost money that weekend. And so he filed a lawsuit. $100 million lawsuit, right, against the employee and the Marriott Hotel for damages that he suffered because of this allegation, which, we're going to get into it, but it seems like there's some questions about whether this allegation was true. Okay, so in the lawsuit, his attorney, Levi McCathern, he said the lawsuit has not only damaged, or the allegation has not only damaged Irvin's reputation, but it's also caused him to have canceled appearances throughout the Super Bowl week, and from that, a loss of money. His attorney went on to tell TMZ that it's clear Michael is the latest victim of our cancel culture, where all it takes is an accusation to ruin a person's life. And that's from his attorney. And the last thing he said, and this is going to springboard us into our conversation from an HR perspective. Mr. McCatherine said rash and thoughtless actions can have severe consequences. And that's a quote from his attorney. And you know what, guys? He is absolutely correct when he says that rash and thoughtless actions, they can have severe consequences. And in this case, it could be $100 million consequence for the Marriott Hotel. Now, so far, Michael Irvin has really been doing well, and his legal team has been really doing well with this lawsuit. First, the court ordered the hotel to release, the judge ordered Marriott to release, provide all written statements to video recordings, reports during Irvin's stay at the hotel, and they ordered the hotel to provide names and contact information for anyone who contacted the NFL to make them aware of or was offended by Irvin's conduct. And so the judge didn't waste any time. He said, release everything, okay? To me, it seems like, just based off of that. And it got worse because the judge ordered Marriott to specifically release the video of the alleged incident, and they gave them a deadline of February 20th. You all, today is March 1st, and the video still has not been released, okay? And so, when a company knows they're going to come out on the wrong side of a lawsuit, they will try every tactic not to have to release incriminating information. We've seen this with, police forces and police officers who have done inappropriate things with alleged criminals, and it has not worked out well for them. And it seems like, to me, in my opinion, and this is strictly my opinion, I'm not an attorney, but working in HR, I have seen this happen when the company knows that there is something that wasn't done correctly. They're going to try every tactic not to release the information that the opposing counsel is requesting, you all. And that speaks volume that Marriott is holding on so tightly to this video and the documents that are being requested, the written statements, the reports. They want to know the names of who contacted the NFL to make this report. They want it all. And the judge said, release it all. And to date, as of March 1st, this information has not been released, specifically that videotape. And so, let's be honest, if the video, if I had a video and I had been accused of doing something wrong and I had a video that could justify my actions, I would release the video, right? You'd be happy to release the video. I would release the video. But the hotel is hell bent on holding on to this video, guys. And so I'm thinking, in my mind, any sane person would say, Marriott, just release the video if it's going to prove that you all were correct in your actions. But they have not released that video, guys. It's March 1st. You're talking about 18 days later, or 8 days later, from the date that the deadline that the judge gave them to release this video. Now, talking about this from an HR perspective, there's several things that seem to have been done incorrectly, and has caused damage to this man's reputation. The problem with not thoroughly investigating claims before taking action is that you run the risk of making employment decisions that affect the accused party, and then it comes out not to be true. And now you have a problem because you've tarnished his reputation. Mr. Irving said he lost money because he wasn't able to make some appearances that he was scheduled to appear for. I'm sure they paid during Super Bowl weekend. I'm sure a lot of people would have paid Mr. Irving, several $1,000s just for him to make an appearance. You're talking about clubs, you're talking about, events during the day, things like that. And then not only that, just um, the sheer thought of having Michael Irving at at any event, right, is going to draw a crowd, which means more money for whatever organization has him making that appearance there. So I'm pretty sure he lost, tens of thousands of dollars, if not more than that, that weekend when he was pulled off from broadcasting. Now, let's be honest, he filed the lawsuit, $100 million against the woman, and then against also Marriott Hotel. Now we know this girl ain't got no $100 million. Like, if she had $100 million, she wouldn't be working at Marriott. Okay, she probably was a bartender or something like that, or a receptionist at the hotel. So she don't have $100 million to give up. So all this, Marriott is going to foot the bill for this alleged mistake. If this turns out to be a false allegation, Marriott Hotel is going to foot the bill for this lapse in judgment and failure to follow what I would call proper HR protocols when dealing with these issues. And can we be honest? If Michael Irvin wants to take it there with the NFL and ESPN, he would have a case and would be well within his right to, because they acted against his property rights, i.e. his money, his reputation, before the allegations were even investigated, you all. Like, they immediately snatched him off from broadcasting based off of this allegation. And the allegation it was so vague, which was questionable to me. It was like harassment and inappropriate, what did she say? Harassment and inappropriate comments. What does that mean? Like, it was just really vague. Now, you can make an argument to remove him from the hotel and place him somewhere else, just till, things could be investigated. They always want to protect the alleged victim. And so, in order to separate the two parties, removing him and putting him in another hotel, you could justify that. But completely taking him off the air to broadcast during the biggest football weekend every year, that creates a problem for NFL and ESPN, because they failed to provide him due process and to investigate these allegations before taking this bold of a stance and just removing him completely from his duties and causing him to lose money because he wasn't able to make those scheduled appearances. It opens the NFL up and ESPN up for litigation, because they failed to do the right things. For us, as working in employee relations, like I said, you could have an argument and it would be justified to remove him or remove her from the situation. So they removed him. But to affect his money is taking it a whole completely step further. To me, proper protocol would have been to investigate the allegations prior to making a decision to take him off air. Because now, and the thing is, ESPN could have even requested to review the video. NFL could have requested to review the video. They didn't do any of that. They just immediately guilty and took him off the air, right? And so that opens them up for litigation, you all. And I'm always concerned with vague allegations like this, because there always seems to be something more to it. You all, I've been in HR for 15 years. I've seen it happen countless times where women make false allegations against men. And it's always a situation where the man's reputation is tarnished, even if the investigation comes back as, unsubstantiated, or there were no findings, or it comes out that the woman was actually harassing him, things like that. We've removed him from we always remove the alleged perpetrator from the situation. So we've removed that person from, their place of business or their place of work while we investigate the allegations. And it definitely has a negative impact on the alleged perpetrator. Now, if he's guilty, he or she is guilty, fine. But if they're not guilty, and we've taken steps to harm them as far as monetary wise, the company is liable. Marriott's liable as well because, I get it. You want to protect your employees. But it seems to me Marriott didn't even do their due diligence. It seems like they didn't even review the video. It seems like they didn't ask questions either before they reported this to the NFL. And like I said, I've seen this happen so many times. Women have made false allegations, and if the company fails to properly investigate and takes an employment action on that person before completing an investigation, it comes out that it was false allegations. You have a problem, you all. You have a problem because now you've affected this person's reputation. It's hard to come back when you have an allegation like this. It's people look at you funny. People don't want to touch you because the Me Too movement and the feminist movement, and everything's like believe all women. But you guys, you have to be impartial and unbiased in these types of situations. And for me, that's how I like to, that's how I operate when as a professional in HR, specifically in employee relations. I'm always 50-50 until I see the facts, you all. I don't care if the woman comes in or he or she comes into me crying and all upset. Y'all, I've had, and I hate to keep saying women, but 95% of the time it is women. I've seen women come in and just boo-hoo cry, and it's just, oh my God, and he's harassing me. And then, we get into the investigation and we get the guy in there, and he pulls out the cell phone with the text messages that she's sending him text messages, and she's constantly calling him, and it's actually reversed. She's harassing him, and because he's not responding to her advances, now she comes up with this crazy claim that he sexually harassed her, you all. And it happens all the time. And so I think as employers, it's very important that you remain neutral in these types of situations. This one was a little bit different because you have the employee who works for Marriott. And again, Marriott did not do their due diligence before making that phone call to the NFL. Likewise, Michael Irvin works for the NFL Network. They don't know this lady either from a can of worms, and they made a rash decision to take him off the air without giving him due process. And as it's coming out, as this story unfolds, it seems like, and this is just my speculation, there's some things about her story that aren't making sense. Marriott is being very evasive about releasing that video. And to me, that is a problem. If you don't want to release the video that could, confirm this story that this lady had, I think there's a problem. And I think there's a reason why Marriott doesn't want to release this video, because they know that they messed up. And you all people can speculate, but I'm telling you what I know from doing this for 15 years. It appears that Marriott has messed up as a company. It's going to make them look very bad. Do I think Michael Irvin will get the full $100 million? I don't know. I think Marriott will probably settle from some undisclosed amount, but if it's not an amount close to that $100 million, Mr. Irvin may not want to settle because he wants to clear his name, and as he rightfully should. And like I said, the NFL has some problems too, because they have basically convicted this man before the information came out, before an investigation was done. They didn't even see the video. I mean, to not even watch the video before you make that rash of a decision, to me is just irresponsible. I don't know who works in their HR department, but me, I would have been a little more cautious about making a decision like that. And I would have wanted to see, I would have wanted a statement from the lady, a written statement. I would have wanted to see the video. I probably would have removed him from the hotel just to separate the two so that there could be no confrontation or thing or anything like that. But to take him completely off from broadcasting based off of an allegation, to me is wrong. I think if it's found out that she made a false allegation, they need to release her name. You know, I get tired of, I don't like it when, people make these false allegations, but they get to hide under the moniker of Jane Doe, John Doe. No, release the name, because if she made a false allegation, release the name. And she should receive just as much criticism as Michael Irvin has received because of this claim. Um, Guys, and I'm going to Google this because I'm pretty sure I'm right about this. Um, but I think that um, the top five lawsuits, um, as it relates to employers, have to do with discrimination, wrongful termination, harassment, wage violations. Those are like the top four. And um, you can end up paying a lot of money if you wrongfully terminate someone, if you fail to protect an employee from discrimination or harassment, if there was some wage violations. I don't know what Michael Irvin's contract looks like with the NFL Network. I'm sure there's some sort of conduct clause in there, but I don't know what the conduct clause says. But I'm sure it says he has to be found guilty of something before they, take him off from getting paid. So that's going to be interesting too, to see what happens after the Marriott lawsuit plays out, to see what Michael Irvin decides to do as it relates to the NFL and ESPN, for taking him off from broadcasting due to this allegation that's looking like it that looks like it may be false. And like I said, that's going to be interesting. Now, today, or maybe it was yesterday, I was reading that, and I'm sorry, I keep taking these glasses on and off, but they're bugging me. I haven't worn glasses like this since the fifth grade. But Marriott has tried to, it seems like a Hail Mary to me, but I guess you got to try everything you can to keep yourself from looking bad. But Marriott has, they've filed to order dismissal. So they're asking the court to dismiss this case because they filed this motion to dismiss because they're saying that Irving sued the hotel chain, and this particular hotel is not one that's owned by them. They just use their brand. And I mean, it's interesting. To me, it's a Hail Mary. It's kind of like, I guess, franchises. I don't know. I guess it's the claim they're trying to make. This is a franchisee, and so we don't really own this hotel. They just use our name, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if it's going to fly, because, I don't know if it's going to fly, you all. We'll see here in the next couple of days. But I definitely want to talk about this case because it does have some elements related to employer relations and human resources. And I think it's going to be interesting to see if Irvin wins this lawsuit, if they plead out, if they plead this case out and come to some settlement. I'm sure it's going to be for a large amount of money. because I can guarantee you, Marriott does not want this to come out that they made a mistake. And I'm 95% sure that Marriott made a mistake here. And they believe this young lady. They didn't get a story. They didn't get a written statement. They didn't review the video before they made that phone call to NFL. And for me, as an HR professional, I want to see all that before I do anything that's going to damage the other person's reputation. Before I make a decision about disciplinary action, I need to see all the evidence and documents and everything, because you want to be fair, and you don't want to tarnish someone's reputation based off of false allegations, you all. And so I'm going to stay updated on this story. We'll go back live and talk about it again. Hopefully we'll have some developments tomorrow and see if the judge is going to grant Marriott's request to dismiss this case, because they claim that this Renaissance Hotel is just leasing their name. I think that's how they put it. They're leasing their name. And so they're not actually a part of the Marriott brand. But we're going to see how this plays out, you all. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. I'm going to try and stream more often, at least 3 times a week. And so this is my first stream in a couple weeks. I feel like every time I'm on here, I have on all black. This is not the same black dress that I had on last time, guys. And I feel like every time I'm on here, my hair is different. But it's me. It's Kim K. So make sure you just subscribe to the channel, Personnel Time with Kim K. Hit the notifications link so that you're notified when I go live. If you enjoy the content, please leave a comment below. Also, you can, send a Cash App if you enjoy the content. I'd like to provide you all with more information about employee matters, because for small and mid-sized businesses that may not have a HR person in their office, I want to provide you all some tips to help you stay out of litigation. An employment lawsuit can break a small company because they can be very costly, you all. So we want to do the right things so that we stay out of employment law jail. All right. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, this is Personnel Time with Kim K. I am Kim K, and I will talk to you all soon. Thank you.